Good day, good people. We are back for day 3 of our beginner tutorial guide. As you may or may not be able to hear, we got some friends outside, but they're probably going to die off once 4 o'clock hits. So oh, somebody's on our spikes. Well, let's go have a little visit. So if these were ferals, they would have died off when morning come. Anybody that spawns in feral overnight dies off once the daylight hits. So we're just gonna clean up our little uninvited guest here, doing our little switch up between our melee weapon and our knife just to cause some additional damage. And this is why we put the spikes down. They come in handy with just dealing with stuff, especially until we get everything upgraded, which we should be able to do. If not today, let's see where we're at with our repair tools. So we only need one more Handyland book and we'll be able to make our hammer so that we can start doing some upgrades. But it's time for us to get back on the go. We are going to go to this next mission. We've got our pail. The only thing that you guys did not see me do was those 300 blocks that I made. I went ahead and put those in here in our little tool storage box, just so that we will have those when we're ready to start building our actual Horde base, how we're going to deal with the day 7 and even those further out hordes. That's a screamer. Why is she here? All right, so everything that you do creates or generates heat. If your heat signature gets high enough, you get a screamer. You have the potential to spawn one screamer or two in each spawn. And if she screams, which she did, she spawns other zombies that are going to come and basically try to handle you. So we're going to deal with this real quick just for the XP. I cannot express to y'all how. See, so there's our second screamer. Now she can scream like she did and bring in more screamers, which would be all bad because you start this cycle of just screamer after screamer. All right, and as you can see, we run into some stamina problems. So we're just gonna switch up. Now, don't panic if you find yourself in this situation early. All right, hit, step back, hit, and step back. That's how you deal with the zombies. You never want to try to stand there and go blow for blow. You will lose every time. All right. So we're just systematically taking these zombies out one at a time until we get them cleared up. And we're being situationally aware because we don't want to have somebody come up behind or beside us, because that is almost always death. And don't let the difficulty fool you. Like, the zombies can swarm and overwhelm you and you can die. It is very much possible. I've done it several times. I don't know anybody that plays the game that has not found themselves in a it's impossible for you not to die type of situation. I just don't want any of these folks hanging around when I get back. So that's why I'm killing them all. And as you saw, we did get another skill point. So we've taken care of our armor. We've got our food covered. We've got advanced engineering for our books. And we only have that 1 point that we need in cardio. Now it's time for us to start strengthening our weapon. So I'm going to put this in strength because that next level is going to affect how our club does damage. So we do 210% headshot damage and have a 10% chance of dismembering with shotguns, clubs, basically all of the weapons that are under the strength tree. And that's literally the next probably 5-6 points, if not more. That's all we're going to be doing is getting that strength category up to the next level and adding another point into our club stats. But for now, we are off to our next mission. Definitely got to start keeping an eye out for these because we're going to start needing more arrows at some point. Remember what I told you about the mailboxes. If it's not open, it means you haven't searched it. Search it. You might find a book or something that you actually really need. Let me take this just for. Yeah, and we just completed another challenge. And the key thing with the challenges is don't feel like you have to actively try to get them done. Just playing the game normally, as you can see, will get those challenges completed. I'm just gonna kill her because I actually want to check this truck over here. This one and the electronics truck. So we may find that handyman book that we need. Not quite, but still good. Search this as well since we're here. All right. Now, in previous series, I've told you guys multiple times in multiple ways, I am a hoarder. All right, so here's something to look out for. If you see a dog house or a dog kennel, there's a chance for there to be an actual dog. And dogs, especially in the early game, are the most annoying thing to have to deal with. So if you see one, be very mindful. Up and see there is one. So I'm going to automatically switch to my gun because I don't want to play around with the dogs. They do a lot of damage and they have a very good chance of infecting you or causing bleeding or causing some sort of status ailment. All right, so we want to get them out. Oh, all right. Those barrels are bad. They will get you radiated and cause damage. So this is our first example of a storm. Now, in these storms, and I hope this doesn't happen with this particular one because I am not prepared to deal with it. These storms can cause your character to get cold. And as you get colder, you use more food and water. So we hope we don't run into that problem. Search this mailbox. Hey. And there it is. All right, so now I need to find I need to get inside of a building or I need to provide myself with some sort of heat source. Now, again, I know this POI. I know that there's a dog almost as soon as you start. So I'm going to reload my gun. I'm going to go ahead and trigger him just so he can be out of the way. Come on. Yep, there he is. Try not to miss and not waste your ammo. And we got a little snake we're going to have to deal with too. But as you can see over on the left, as I'm fighting all of this different stuff right now, my temperature is 38 degrees and you see a little frost around my screen. All right, that's to let me know that my character is cold. All right, so got some paper. Let's go ahead and get this food put into a meat bundle, and that's going to keep it from smelling. Even though since it's raining on us, we're not going to smell anyway. What am I missing for a torch? Cloth. Learn how to make brass. All right, so let's start moving through this place. We could just go straight to the supplies, but this is a really good area to loot. Can I do this? I can indeed. Now I should be able to make... No, I need 2 more pieces. All right. Well, let's get inside. There's going to be zombies in here for sure. There's one. A little delayed spin out there. All right, so somehow we are still getting wet and cold in here. Well, what we're going to have to do is make us a torch. And that's going to help us with providing heat for ourselves and keep us from freezing. I'm going to go ahead and eat this. That's going to take care of our food and water for a while. And now that that torch is done, we're going to pull that out, and that's going to help us start to warm up. And as you can see, almost immediately, our temperature restores and our screen goes back to normal. I believe the way this place is set up, that's why we're still getting like smells and stuff like that. So for whatever reason, it still thinks we're outside some kind of way. I don't understand the logic, but we're just gonna roll with it. And it's just in that central area. Now, if you really wanted to, you can continue to break down the pipes. I mean, the sinks for the pipes, but we've already completed that challenge. You're gonna find plenty of pipes, so it's really no need. And we're gonna move on to the next trailer. Just gonna grab this for the plastic parts. And we're just gonna work our way through. There's really nothing special to really tell you guys about this part of it. You're just gonna clear your POI, complete your mission, and collect your training reward. So I'm just gonna work through this POI. If there's anything that I need to show you guys or anything like that, then I'll just stop and break that out for you. Oh crap, where's he at? That's a big boy. We just keep knocking him down. Sorry if I go silent, I kind of lock in sometimes. All right, so that's that on that for now. If there's anything that I need to explain or any point, then I'll stop fast forwarding. But I'm gonna time skip you so that you don't have to watch me go through this whole POI. So we actually this place actually has the POI loot. And I just realized I've been saying POI. In case you do not know what that is, that means a place of interest. But this one's main loot just happens to be like halfway through it. I'm still gonna search everywhere in here, but just want to give you that kind of heads up. The other thing to take note of here is our inventory is full. All right, and we still have plenty of little trailers to go through. So this is where we have to start prioritizing what we really need and what we don't necessarily need, or something that we may not need until later in the game. These are things that you will learn as you continue to play the game, but we don't have to worry about yucca seed right now. All right, so we're going to leave that in the nightstand. There's nothing else in here, so back to finishing up the POI. All right, so that was our courier satchel. That's what we needed. That gave us this little tidbit right here to turn back into the trader. But we are technically done with this POI. So one of the other things that they've added, I think this was in 2.0 maybe. Maybe it was 2.5, but I'm really looking for 2.0, is undergarments. So you'll come across things like tattered glove liners, things like that. What I just did, I mean, I should have explained it. I basically just added that to my clothing. So here you've got your armor, and then you've got your clothing, which are your undergarments. So there's something for your head, your body, your hands, and your feet. These are all the symbols that you see there are actually the advanced versions of everything. I believe those are the patchwork items, and that's what you want to get up to. I think only thing after that is thermocore, which is the top tier of that stuff. But we won't get to that in this theory, so nothing to worry about there. That's something that we can probably cover in a whole different thing. So technically, I can leave this POI, but I want to get everything out of here. We don't want to leave anything behind. We now can make better armor, so we'll do that after we offload everything. And that's the reason why we wanted to put that point into light armor, so that we do have the ability to improve our armor. You want to be able to craft your own armor as early as possible so that you can wear whatever armor fits your playstyle. And I feel like I'm saying armor all kinds of crazy, but I don't, I know I'm not, but whatever. Don't judge me. All right, this is the last RV in this little trailer park. And we're just gonna finish collecting everything else. Oh, we definitely want, well, I'm not worried about the pipes, but I want the mechanical parts. So this is where you have to make crucial decisions about what we can get rid of. All right. I Other than mineral water, there's not a lot that you can make some of the goldenrod tea. Um, but out of everything that I have here, this is the least need. Actually, no, this flashlight is, but I want to sell that. We can always get more goldenrod. There's plenty of that to go around. And that's basically what it will come down to is what can I do without, what do I have to have? So, okay. Oh, and that's why you don't stand in place and fight the zombies, because you get hit. And we don't want to. Damn, I took his arm off. My bad, my boy. That's what you get. That's why we learn to keep our hands to ourselves. Parents should start telling them kids that, like, keep your hands to yourself or you might lose it, and then show his example. Forget it. Scar the kids for life. Let them figure it out when they're older. All right, last of the POI. And this was actually a really good bacon and egg. So that's, all right, so here's another one of those clothing items. So we're going to wear it because I know we don't have anything on already. And now we have our tattered undergarments for our, basically our body and our hands. And all these do, as you can see, it just kind of help us deal with the temperature a little better. So as we get better quality, better tier, we will be able to help ourselves against the elements a little bit better. And that made me think of something. Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. That's what that screen made me think of. We definitely want this. Goodbye, coffee beans. All right, so the other thing I want to show you is in the beginning of the game, you're going to have this death XP penalty protection if you're playing completely on the default settings. So basically, until you hit level 6, there's no penalty for dying. All right, if I were to die right now, the only things that would happen would be I would respawn butt naked, just like you start the game out. All of my stuff that you see here would be gone, but there would be a little bag on the map where I died at to show me where I could go back and get all of my stuff. But on the default settings, if you were to die after this, after level 6, basically, then this purple bar down here turns red, and you basically have an XP debt that you have to repay before it resumes where it was. Now, the good thing is it picks right back up where it left off. So it's not like you have to, it completely resets your bar. It basically just sets you back a little bit to get back to where you were. All right, so we are officially done. We are going to head back to our base to offload so that we're not encumbered and running extra slow. I should have got this mailbox when I came out the first time. Would have already had my paper. Now, I don't have one on me, but if you had a steroid, you could actually use the steroid. I just hear a dog. Am I tripping? Y'all heard that chain, right? Am I tripping? All right, we ain't gonna worry about it. If I get attacked, just know I wasn't tripping. Oh, is there some water in here? All right, so let's go ahead and fill up our bucket. We'll deal with him. Get out of here, buddy. This was the whole point of the bucket. All right, so now we've got our bucket full of water. That's going to go into our little watering hole. As we, slowly make our way back. I'll see y'all back at the base. All right, we are back to the base, and we're gonna do our little quick offload for the things that we can, and then the things that we can't, we'll add those in so that we'll be able to do that later. Let's take our bucket, and we are going to left click, dump it in our tub. All right, and this literally becomes our tub. Yes, we're going to drink from the same water that we bathe in. Judge a mammy. It's a video game. Get over it. All right, and we're gonna offload everything, and we're just going through, and I'm just doing my little my quick click and dump. Anything that ends up left over, then we'll know that it goes somewhere else, and we'll manually add it. All right, so these are all the items we have left. All of this goes into here. This goes into our mods, and these are parts that we are eventually going to need. And we know that this is for ammo crafting. All right, I'm gonna leave the torch because I don't expect another storm anytime soon. And we are off to the trailer. So we're gonna turn in that mission. This is a good opportunity to go ahead and refresh that stuff. And we were able to make the next level of our primitive armor. So we're gonna go ahead and make that and put it on as well. And we can scrap these because we have no further usage of those. So let's go see old rude ass Wrecked over here. Grab us another mission. Now I'm probably a little bit behind my normal schedule of where I would want to be, but it's fine. I think we'll be okay. Now the traders restock every 3 days. So basically on day 4, he's going to have brand new
Good
inventory.
afternoon, Jack. Wipe that smirk off your face.
So
Doing
in
one
the
job
early stages
doesn't
of the
make us
game,
pals.
you almost always
it.
want to take the crafting skill magazine bundle because that's going to give you, I think like 6 different magazines. It could be 2 of 3 different types typically. All right, so we're going to take that. We're going to see what else he has. So he's got a couple fetches. These are way too far for us at the moment, although I do like Dale's Cafe, way too far. So we're going to take Garage First Construction because I think we've done that place already.
You better take this job. I'm not get moving, jackass. This don't pay.
And we're just going to
What are you,
check his
zombie?
inventory just to
Decide
see
already.
if there's something that he has that we may need to get our hands on before he updates his inventory. No, all of these are things that we're going to find based off of what we have our points in, so I'm not really pressed about any of those. And we're not worried about any mods, so he doesn't have anything
I
that we're
knew
just
you were
desperately
a cheap
needing.
motherfucker.
So tomorrow we'll come back and sell off the stuff that we have, and we'll see what his inventory now currently has. So a couple of those magazines were for our tools. We're going to make better tools. And you don't have to do this the way that I'm doing it. You don't, if you want the extra inventory slots and you don't want to keep this stuff on you, you don't have to. That's what makes it easiest for me. I think it's a best practice so that I can keep my stuff up to date, because once I get to the iron tools and the iron weapons, I completely don't have to carry those anymore, and I get those slots back. Now, I probably shouldn't be wasting time searching cars, being that it's already 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I still have some work to do on the base. So let's hurry up and get to this place. But I think we've already done it. So it'll be a quick reset of the facility and getting right back to it. We'll talk about cop cars later, possibly in a different series. And I think after I get through like the individual days with this, I definitely want to jump into my Twitch at some point and do a live stream where I actually play through this the way I would play through it. And I want to start an actual series on the channel as well, where I'm doing that, but it's going to be our ongoing series. It'll be the one that we play until they make some major change where I have to start all the way over, because the people that know me and know how I play this game know that I start over all the time, which is why There is no right or wrong way to play the game. However, I do feel like I have one of the best starting strategies. Oh, so we haven't been here yet. Was that another playthrough? Am I thinking about a whole other game? All right, so this is as close to double looting as I'm gonna get. I'm gonna hit some of the stuff on the outside here, just because. Oh, just because we can get some pretty useful things. So I'm going to take all of these resource pallets over here and that one, and search the truck and the mailbox. And of course, this the cement mixer, which usually gives a 4J book, which it did. And there's a not you. I'm not looking for you. You can go back to sleep. Get back in your spot. This is what I'm looking for, the generator bank. Oh, so we just zombied up around here. Okay. All right. Let me deal with this real quick, and I'll be right back. All right. Now that they're out of our way. So we did acquire another point. So again, we need strength at level 3 before we can unlock Pummel Pete level 2. So we're going to dump that point here, and now our next point can go into level 2 of our Pummel Pete, which is going to increase our attack damage. We have a better chance of knocking people down. We reduce our stamina cost by 15 and 30% respectively with normal and power attacks. So that's one of the reasons why we want to get that as high as possible, as quick as possible. So I'm going to quickly gather these resource pallets, because these are all things that we're going to need, especially when it's time to upgrade not just the crafting space, but also the horde base. And hopefully, at some point here, we can find that last book, that last Handyland book we need, so that we can go ahead and make our hammer. If not, we are going to be doing some, we are going to try to start crafting the horde base tonight. And we're going to start doing some upgrades as long as we have enough wood available. I was rewatching day 2 just to make sure I knew exactly where I was picking up at on day 3. And I have a very terrible mind, apparently, because there were so many things I said in there that could have been turned into a dirty joke. But I'm going to try to keep it as clean as possible. We'll save that for the live streams. All right, so this is the last of the things that we want to kind of take a look at before we restart this place. Scrap of fun. Go ahead and take this. They are going to blow up that bus if they keep hitting on it, and they're going to kill themselves. So we're just going to let them self-destruct. And we are going to reset and get through this POI. So we get another Fortune Head book, and now we can make our workbench. And this is why I don't understand why some creators just are just like, oh, we got to get a workbench on day 1. It's like, if you just play the game naturally and do the things you're supposed to do, you'll find it. Like, it's gonna happen, and it'll happen quickly. So there's no need. Don't ever feel like you have to rush and get your workbench and your forge on day 1, and that's the only way you're gonna have a successful playthrough. It's not. As I've said many a time, there is no one right or wrong way to play the game. The whole purpose is just to survive and thrive, but you don't have to just do anything unnecessary in order to make that happen. But enough yapping. I'm going to finish up this POI, and if something important comes up, I'll check back in. Now, this particular screamer is not a real screamer because she wasn't generated based off heat. So if you're doing this POI and she comes out, don't worry, she can't scream and spawn in other zombies. All right, so POI is done. We're going to grab our little satchel here for the retrieve the supplies, which was our primary mission. But we just went ahead and killed all the zombies anyway. Here's our in-game loot or in-stage loot. All right, so now we can start talking about armor. All right, so this would be considered some medium armor. It's better than what we're currently wearing, and you can tell that by the armor rating. So by putting this on, we gain plus 4.1 armor rating. So we are going to take and wear that, which is going to replace our primitive hood. This is an armor pocket mod. This allows us to open up another spot. So you have single, double, and triple. Is there a quad? I want to say there's just triple. There might be a quad. But anyway, this will open up a free slot and make us less likely to be encumbered. So I'm going to add it to my gloves. So I'm going to modify the gloves, add this, and now you see this became one of those gray spots. So now it takes one less item for us to be, or we can be one less encumbered overall. So we're going to finish grabbing everything in here, and then we are going to head back to Rect, claim our reward, and then we're going to start prepping. I don't know if you were able to see it in the speed through. And there's our hammer. So we've got a lot that we need to do today. Oh wow, we can make a bike already. And we are able to actually craft a workbench to be able to make one. But there's no need for that either, and I'll explain why. All right, back to Rick we go. Hey Rick, I'm back.
Oh, didn't we agree your first job was going to be free?
All right, so this is one of those situations where
this is
there's not
all I can
really
spare.
anything great, but because of upgrading, we're going to take the cobblestone rocks. Now, I know that none of the jobs that he has are anything that we really want to do, so we'll wait to see what he has tomorrow. If we really wanted to just have one for the sake of having one, this would be the one to take.
You better
As a
not
matter of
fuck
fact, we
this
will.
up, or I'll cut your goddamn throat.
And just a quick check. So he does have some eye candy. I am going to go ahead and... I'm going to wait to spend the money on that because we got plenty of days. But that's the other candy that we want for Horde Night. And we want 3 of these for Horde Night. Hopefully, over the next few days, those will still be in there. So now let's get back to our base. It's almost nighttime. Let's get back. Let's take care of a couple of things. And we will start to build our Horde base overnight. All right, home sweet home. All right, let's close the door. Before we do anything, let's get everything sorted. All right, now, oh, not those. These mushroom spores can grow anywhere. So typically what I like to do is just kind of toss them up above my cooking area so that I can easily harvest them once they're fully grown. But everything else, we're going to put away. So these are items that we don't currently have in our inventory. Now, if you may be questioning why I'm putting the old sham sandwiches in my healing box, and the reason for that is they are used to make antibiotics. So if you ever want to know what an item is used for, hover over it, hit your Y button, and hold it down. You can go up to recipes, and it'll show you the recipes all of the recipes that item is used in. So if I do that for something like clay, you can see all the different things that clay is required to make. All right, just a little something just in case you're not sure about what you need something for, or you're determining what you want to keep or not keep, that's the easiest way to help you make that decision. So we'll get all of this stuff, and as you can see, I'm doing my little quick click thing. Motor 2 paws come in handy. Handgun parts come in handy. I'm not making or using a spear, so I can sell the spear parts. If you see this book, right, there's two things to let you know that you've already read this book. One is the book itself that's showing open as an icon on the top left corner. And then if you click on it, you can see it even bigger here. So if you see that, you know that you've already read that book. You can sell it or you can read it for XP. I'd rather have the money, so I'm going to put it in my box to sell to the trader tomorrow when he restocks. More items for our storage. I don't know why I didn't put these in there at that time. All right, so I want to take this iron and get it into the forge because there are a couple of things we're going to make. So we're going to let that smelt down, and while that's doing that, because I don't think I have any, I have one piece of forged iron. So while that's doing its thing, oh, I'm going to need a grill. Crap. All right. Well, we're going to have to use some of that iron that we just put in there and make us a cooking grill, because we are now able to make bacon and eggs, which is by far the best early game food that you're going to be able to make. That's actually going to help actually sustain you because it gives you 35 food. So we're going to take this meat, these eggs. I'm going to grab all of this too because I'm going to use everything that I have and make as many of these as I can, which is 5. Now, if I didn't have that point in MasterChef, this would actually cost me, I think 5 would cost me 25 meat as opposed to 20. So it really does matter having that in there, and it's going to cook a little faster too. So we're going to give ourselves enough fuel to cover that, and we're going to get them cooking. And that's going to take care of our food problem. Now, I'm going to show you why we created this little space here. So now, instead of trying to go outside and find a source for filling up our jars, we can just come over right over here, hold the jars in our hand, left trigger, and we fill our jars, and we did not take anything from our water. All right. So because I don't have my second campfires all set up with the cooking pots and stuff, I'm just going to cook those here. It's not, and I actually don't need them right now, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to add another 4 minutes worth of cooking time, and I'll get those going. So we're going to let those cook. Now, while those are doing their thing, I know I'm going to start crafting or start building my Horde base, but I got to have a way to get to it. So we're going to make us another door, and I know that this is lined up, one with this door, but with the center of my base. So I'm going to pull out these 2 blocks. I'll put a door here. I'm going to grab my blocks here, and again, I'm going to keep this strictly very square. I don't make a very square base like this typically. I usually have some type of little razzle dazzle to it, but this is just so that you guys have a baseline to start from. So I'm going to extend out 3 blocks, but I'm going to extend out 5. I want it to be 5 wide because I'm going to put walls around it at some point. All right, so that's 2. That's 3, and then this next layer is going to be where I start my actual Horde base. So I want this to be 7 wide. And I'm going to build down to the ground from here as a pillar. So this is my leg. This is a leg. Now, because of rage mode, we're going to set this up to be 4 legs thick. All right. So we're going to just make this, and this looks way better when I do it the way I actually do it. So just bear with me. But this is just to make sure that the zombies are not able to collapse our base on us, because that would be all bad. What do I feel like I did wrong here? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. Oh, I built it under. All right. So we know that this is, where is it? This is technically block 2. All right. So that's 1, 2, and we want to come out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And same thing over here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gonna build our legs down. This would be a lot easier for me to make sure that I'm doing this right if I was actually like using the shapes that I would normally use and making it stand out a little bit more. But we don't need a huge fighting space for the Horde base. All right, we just need enough space to be able to properly deal with the zombies. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to give ourselves that 4-leg support system. And the whole point of giving ourselves basically a 4-leg structure is so that if the zombies do attack our pillars, which they're going to do, but I'm going to give you a way to kind of counter that. Then that just makes it to where they have a lot they have to do to make it actually collapse on us. All right. So we've got that kind of established. I can't tell y'all how much this blocky base is annoying me, but it's for the culture. It's for the culture. So we're going to roll with it. All right. So now we want to establish our fighting position. All right. So from here, I'm going to build up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to do the same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this corner. And in this corner. 2, 3, 5. We should have some bacon and egg done. Gonna eat one of those. And I'm gonna drink one of these waters just to keep myself from being thirsty. But we're gonna go ahead and make some red tea, which I believe we do have the ability to make now. Yep. So let's make some of that because that's gonna help us with making our food last longer. So we're gonna add another 4 minutes to our cooking time and let that run. We just don't want to be hungry and thirsty while we're building. Now, the other good thing about our little pool here, like I said, we're going to use this to bathe as well. So we're going to jump in, rinse the smell off, and our smell is now gone from the bottom left side. All right, now let's finish this up. So again, I like everything to be centered. All right, so we're going to start here in the dead center. We're going to change our shape to a scaffolding ladder. And we want to orientate this to where the empty part of the block is facing us. And the reason that we want that is because if we turn it the other way, the zombies will be able to climb on it. So I'm just going to do this just to show you. We can climb on this so we know it's on the right side. If this were turned the other way, the zombies will be able to climb on it. And we don't want that. That's all bad. All right, so let's fill this in. And I'm like I said, I'm just giving you guys what you need to survive. Okay. And we're gonna go 1, 2, 3 here. 1, 2, 3. And now we're gonna change our block again. We're gonna come down in our subcategories to poles, and we're gonna do the pole double. All right. Now what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna have to turn on the advanced rotation. So remember to get to that. You're going to hold down B, come down on your left analog to advanced. And we want this just like this. So we want to orientate it to where it's on its side, looking like an equal sign. And we're going to put those right next to each other. And realistically, you can do whatever you want with this top part. If you want to just fill it in with a regular block, you can. If you want to repeat the scaffolding ladders, you can. Entirely up to you. Now the last thing that we're going to do is we're just going to fill in the rest of this. And I really think I'm gonna need more blocks. I don't quite remember because we still have to make stairs and do all this other stuff. So I get this filled in. And while I'm doing this, take a moment, leave a comment, tell me what you think of the series so far. Is there something that is probably very basic that I'm not explaining that you need to know or want to know? Is there something that you want me to go into more detail on in future videos? Like I said, I'm making this for you guys. I have done this a million times. I could probably do it in my sleep. Um, I think I have done it in my sleep. I think I've gotten some inspiration in my sleep before. I don't know. But the whole point of this is to give you a way to be literally brand new to the game and have an easy time surviving. Now you saw me craft another door because I want to have a way in and out of here. All right, and we're going to fill in the roof. Again, I would be using a completely different block for this, but I'm keeping it simple. I'm only changing blocks when I absolutely have to. So everything, like I said, it's going to be very blocky and plain and very Minecraft-ish, but it'll be functional, and that's what's most important. All right, so this is our fighting position, and I'm definitely going to have to make some more blocks. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and make another 100. Probably won't need that many, but I was initially thinking 400 in the last episode, if you remember, so might as well have made 400. All right. Now let's just take a quick look around, make sure none of our little friends are out frolicking in the woods, coming to check us up. Oh, yep, there's somebody. It's a crawler. If he doesn't bother us, we won't bother him. All right, so I like to have 2 paths for the zombies to come through, and there's some crazy logic behind that. But we're going to use this pillar 5 meter. So if you didn't see how I got there, hold down B, go up to your shapes, and in your basic shapes, it's this one right here, the pillar 0.5 meter. If you want to check if zombies have spotted you, just crouch by clicking your right analog. As long as your little eye down there on the bottom left is green, you're not detected. If it turns yellow, you're detected. All right. So we're not going to worry about him. And we're going to come out 4 blocks. 2, 3, 4. All right. That's our basically walking pattern. He's getting on my nerves. I'm going to go and get rid of him. Sorry, y'all. Hold tight for just a second. Making all that noise unnecessarily. All right. So this is how the zombies are going to quote unquote get to us. So I'm going to make this 5 wide. And I'm going to give it 3 pillars. Now, you may have noticed that the little box around the blocks is different. Right here it's green, right here it's white. This means that starting from this point on, we are outside of my land claim blocks zone. So if I were to put something down, I would not be able to pick it up outside of blocks. So if I put a workstation or something like that down in this area, I would not be able to pick it up because it's technically not in my space. And I'm using air quotes, but you can't see that because I'm not playing with my camera on. All right, so this is how the zombies get to us. Now we have to give them a way up to there. So I'm going to extend out 2 more blocks. And now we're going to add in stairs to give them a way up. So quickest way here, so I'm going to split these in half. And I'm going to turn these into stairs. I'm going to keep this very basic. I do this very differently when I'm building mine, but I'm going to keep it simple for y'all. All right, so I set up 2 stairs, 2 blocks, 2 stairs, 2 blocks, 2 stairs, You get it by now. And sometimes getting the proper angles is a little difficult. And that's going to bring us all the way to the floor. All right, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Stairs and blocks. Again, this is just a very basic something to get you started. You can build whatever you want. If you want to build your horde base that look like a huge penis, more power to you. Do what you want to do. Now, the ground on this side is a little higher than the ground on this side, so our staircase doesn't quite go as low, but that's completely fine. The only other thing we need to do is make sure the zombies don't have a catch point. So I'm going to change this shape again to the stairs filled corner. And remember, we get here by going into our shapes menu. And what I'm going to do is basically set it up to where they have a way up from either side of this staircase. And we're just rotating this so that it's perfectly flush. And now if they're coming up this backside, they can roll right around. And we're going to do the same thing over here. There we go. Now we got our stairs built. We have our way up. The last thing that we need to do before we start upgrading everything is we need to add another layer of protection here. They would get through this pretty quick, okay? So we want to make sure that doesn't happen. So I'm going to copy this shape because I'm going to use the bars. And what I did here was I acted like I was going to the shape menu, but moved over to copy shape and rotation. I could have just copied the shape or just the rotation, but I'm going to do both because it just allows me to quickly get here. And I want to put this up against those blocks. So we're going to double layer, stack it all up. Don't do that. Now we have a layer of protection on the outside and on the inside. So now we just made it that much harder for the zombies to get in and do damage to us. All right. So we are all good there. Now, oh, there was one other thing I forgot to do. Sorry. We want to make sure that the zombies can't stack up in front of our fighting position. So we want to basically limit their mobility. So I'm going to switch over. I'm going to keep this simple. I'm not going to do what I normally do. We're just not the wedge tip. We're going to go to this ramp block. And we're going to turn it to advanced rotation. And we want to put it to where it's angling out over the fighting position so that the zombies would stack up, they'll hit this, and then they'll kind of start to shift and fall off. The reason why we're using this rounded block is so that they can fall off and not just stack up on us at our fighting position. It makes it easier for us to deal with them. So we now have our crafting space built. We have our horde base built. And at this point, everything is just about upgrading the material of the base and upgrading our character to be able to deal with the zombies. So before I end, I'm going to go ahead and top everything off. So I'm going to eat another bacon and eggs. I'm going to drink a red tea, which is going to add another little thing over here. And if you want to know what any of those little icons are, open up your character menu and everything will be right over here on the side. All right. That little stomach icon is for our efficient digestion. So food and water costs for regenerating stamina is now minus 15%. So as we're running and jumping and doing all the things that burn up stamina, this is going to require less food and energy to replenish that stamina for the next 5 minutes. But we're not going to be doing any of that in the next 5 minutes, so it's kind of wasted, but whatever. But I think this is a good place to end. We've got, like I said, we've got ourselves pretty well established. At this point, it's just a matter of Oh, one other thing. Can I even make one yet? Oh, I don't have the forged iron. All right, we'll deal with that on day 5. We'll catch y'all in the next episode. Don't forget, please, for your boy, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, let me know how I'm doing, let me know if you want more of something. Let's do something. Should I bring the face cam back and put it up in that corner? I feel like it kind of takes away from the game a little bit, but this isn't for me, it's for you. So you let me know, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, good people.